about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, along with Amy Hood, who is going to be joining me for the first couple of segments. You're back up there in Canada now, right, Hood? Well, I guess welcome home, or welcome back home.
What are you talking about, Jim? I am not in Canada at all. I'm currently sitting in Paxton, Illinois, beside a 12,000-pound monster truck right now. Getting some training in here. So I don't know what you're thinking, but I am definitely not in Canada right now.
I swear I thought you were headed back to Canada this month. That tells you how much I know.
Well, if you hear that beautiful purring in the background,
I do hear that.
A truck starting up for you. So.
Nice. You're doing some training.
I'm up here for a little bit. I am. So.
Nice. Well, I'm headed up that direction here in about a day to Indianapolis for the Indianapolis Grand Prix. So both of us will be in the Midwest. Probably not actually too far from each other. Yeah, that's so we got you joining us for the first couple of segments. I know last week you and I were very fortunate that we got to tag team an interview with Justin Brayton, who had a career year this year in Monster Energy Supercross. So we're going to air that in hour number 2. Then we got Juliana Daniel. She's calling in hour number 1 as well. So it's going to be a fun one today. You got to dig this, a little Supercross heavy show. I think that's right in your wheelhouse, right?
Yeah, I mean, we only got the first segment here that we can chat because I got to get the behind the wheel here. We only got 2 days to test and, get all that we needed to get here at Monster Jam University. So, Jim, I got to strap up and tune in and get behind the wheel.
All righty. Well, we are going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about some Supercross here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. So hang tight, and we'll be back right after this. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver and Amy Hood here, who is at Monster Jam University, the super top secret Monster Jam University.
Yeah.
We're getting a little wind noise there, Hood. Let me see if we can adjust some of that out. But, yeah, so...
Yeah, it's kind of hard. I'm kind of sitting out in the middle of a bean field right now behind a tree, so I'll move to the other side of the tree.
Definitely cleared
Is
up.
that any better?
Yeah, you're on the right side of the tree
cool.
now. So
Good.
we got to talk a little bit of Supercross in this first segment because I know you got to go, but I got to ask you, so... Monster Jam University, you went there originally because obviously nobody has ever driven monster trucks until they go to Monster Jam University unless you're one of the few independents. So
this is where we do our auditions.
Yeah, so you audition there, you learn, they audition you did all right, they bring you back, then you actually train to do your triple threat. Now you're going back for more training.
Yeah.
You get to learn the fun stuff now, right? I mean, what's this is where you like arena stuff, backflips, like all the craziness.
No, I'm actually transitioning to some stadium stuff right now. So my second leg of my tour coming up this fall and winter. I know one of these shows is announced, so I can say that I am going to be going overseas to Brazil. So that show is available online at monsterjam.com. But you can actually go to monsterjam.com and check out all the remaining stops of the Monster Jam season. My tour starts back up in October, and I'm going right through Christmas time. So I'm really excited to share that with all these fans once you turn back in. But, yeah, I get to go try to, the new track and learn the faster style of racing and then, hitting bigger jumps. And, Jim, I officially can say that I actually get to send it now, so I'm really excited.
You get to hit stuff tapped out. So you think Feld, since you're going to Brazil, I think you need to pitch them that you need a personal assistant, and he happens to be me.
Yeah, well, I definitely downloaded the Rosetta Stone app because I want to brush up on my Spanish. And,
Portuguese, too, down there in Brazil, so... Yeah.
I can't wait. I never thought I'd be able to get the opportunity to go, overseas to do what I love to do. I got to race in Europe, but Brazil is like a whole different ball game. Latin America is unreal. Just very fortunate. And, I'm going to show these guys what Zombie and I are here to do. So we're going to put in some work here at Monster Jam University this weekend.
Nice. So we got to talk real quick about Supercross. One, our guest in hour number 2, we pre-taped with him. He finished 5th in the points.
So great.
But he signed a 2-year contract extension. Literally, it got announced like a couple hours after we did our interview. And I'm like, that sucks that I know he knew this was coming and he couldn't talk about it when he was on with us. But 2-year contract extension for Justin Brayton. I mean, he's the oldest winner in Supercross history. That says a lot for them to step up and give him a 2-year deal.
It does, but, when you guys tune in and listen to the interview with him, we talked about whether he's going to go out on a career high, having the best career, obviously the best season of his career this year at 34. And, personally, I actually thought that maybe this was going to be his year, go out with a bang. But you can hear in his voice how excited he is to race and still, be competitive. And he's like, I ain't quitting anytime soon. I'm having fun. I'm loving what I'm doing. I'm, in such a great mental and physical state right now. And he's going to just keep this ball rolling. And congratulations to him. Like, that's awesome. But, after talking to him, you could tell, like, he's ready for more. He is, fueled and fired up. And he's going to take some downtime, hang out with the family. And then obviously we're going to go see him over in the Australian Supercross. So I think that he's going to, have a little bit of a redeeming year over there this year as well. So all good stuff from him. But I'm so lucky because obviously it was Cinco de Mayo. Obviously the Four Locos were flying. It's like, the classic holiday. I got to have my first American Cinco de Mayo. But luckily I got to sit and actually watch the two main events. And let me tell you, it was some of the best racing from other riders that I did not even expect. Obviously, we're going to see the championship title holders, keeping it cool, calm, collective, having strong, very safe, if you will, right? They can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
They're up for the championship here. So we saw Zach Osborne and Plessinger running 7th and 8th, but that's all they needed to do. They had to make a flawless race, and they did. They won the championships. But Jim, let's talk about Adam Cincerello. This guy has been plagued with injury after injury. He's always been the underdog. We've always talked about him and, just listening to him and him coming in with this mindset that, if there's any race that he has to win, he's here to win Vegas. And I did not see it coming in a million years. And Adam Cincerello topped the box, being injured. I think we've seen a new Adam Cincerello for 2018, Jim. What do you think?
I agree. And you and I, we've been talking about this guy for like 3 or 4 years now, and two things that I noticed, like, he's actually finally turned into a man. I hate to say that, but like when he was a kid, but now he looks different. He's bigger. Yeah. He's stronger.
He's grown up.
Yeah, he's grown up.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing, and I don't want to say that he wasn't ready. I think his body wasn't ready. He was fragile. He was still a kid. And I think he's put on muscle. He's put on the weight.
Fragile.
He still is, but, I mean, he's got some meat on his bones now. And so I think, that being said, I think physically he's ready because, gosh, it's such a –
Which helps mentally.
Yes.
It really does. And like, you could hear the confidence behind his words when he was being pressed in Vegas. And but then, he didn't let people know that he was dealing with an injury all week. And, they're talking about it. And I'm like, okay, here we go. Like, we're going to see Adam Cincerello, like lawn dart, crash out, be out for outdoors. God only knows. But that win in Vegas is the confidence boost that he really needed. And I hope to God the kid stays the man. He's the young man now. We can't call him the kid anymore. But, I hope he stays, healthy. I can't wait to see him in outdoors. He's one of my favorite outdoor riders. I was, a diehard Adam Cincerello fan when he was on amateurs. His riding style is just, it very much reminds me of the younger James Stewart. Hangs it all out, very aggressive, takes chances. I'm really, really excited to see him transition outdoors.
Yeah.
But also, switching gears, 450 class, it was all on the line, and it all came down to Vegas, really. I mean, he just had to do a flawless race. He had to be smart, and boom, he did what he needed to do. And we have our 450 Supercross champion, El Hombre. We've been talking about it since the very first race and who we wanted to see win. And I think we made a bet, did we not? I'm pretty sure that we made a handshake bet. We're going to go back and listen to the beginning of the season. But I think that I put my money on El Hombre.
Yeah, I can't remember if there was actually a bet because I think we both did. I don't know.
I don't know. One of us chose Roxanne, and then I think one.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and check.
Him, so.
I know there's a chance he's going to be on air next week with us too. We're working on that. It sounds like there's a really good chance that Anderson will be on air with us. But I'm stoked, and it was one of those going into the final. Obviously he's ridden smart all year, but you wonder. It's the last event. It's Vegas. You wonder if somebody's going to get caught up in something. And there's a lot of luck that goes involved, especially in turn one. And you just wondered, is he going to get? Is something going to happen? Is somebody going to do him dirty? Is he going to get overly crazy and just stick his nose in there when he should just lay back? He played it so perfectly.
Or is somebody going to ruin it for him? That's another thing. Lappers, Vegas. You never know if there's some type of rivalry going on where somebody wants Marvin to win and put their nose where it shouldn't be. You just never know.
Yeah. Chad Reed last year blocking people.
So that's also you were really used to seeing that in the 250, East-West shootout. I love the East-West shootout because you really get to see who the stronger rider is from which coast. But again, we have this complete shakeup where normally we would see Plessinger or Osborne at the top of the box, but they didn't have to be. They're just riding around smart and smooth. And so, it shakes up the podium for the 250 East-West shootout. So it's, that's the one race that you never know what you're going to get. But, they're smart. They did what they had to do. And I really can't wait to see them transition to, 450s. I'm pretty sure, Plessinger, he's a tall dude. He might make that jump, and I know Osborne's obviously been in it for long enough now that I think it's time for him to
McElrath has been open about wanting to go to 450s too, and Shane knows how to win. He's a guy that'd be solid in 450s.
Yep. Totally. But we gotta give a little bit of love. I just thought it was amazing. I saw it on memes of the day, relationship goals, hashtag husband goals, hashtag moto goals. Oh my goodness. But Aaron Plessinger proposing to his pregnant fiance on the podium. God, every girl dreams of something like that to happen. So that's awesome. Congrats to him. And the kid's young, 22 years old, baby on the way, winning championships. The guy's set. He's rocking life right now so hard. And it's pretty interesting because we actually hear about this, from Justin. But you think a young 22-year-old fighting for a championship with a pregnant wife and a baby on the way, it kind of leads into this discussion that we have with Jason, how family and a support system really, plays well on that confidence in your mental state. And it really showed with, Plessinger as well.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a short break, and when we come back, more on Supercross. We got some NHRA talk, the women dominating this week, and a lot more coming at you on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, and no Amy Hood this go around. She is at Monster Jam University, like we talked about. She's doing some training. She has to do the big stadium shows, moving out of the arena. So I guess they got to teach him how to. I don't know. You see the arena shows, and I guess a comparison is the arenas are like where you would watch, a basketball team play or something like that. Really tight, really confined. They don't have a lot of room. And then they move to the stadium shows, and it'd be like an NFL team where they've got all kinds of room and they can stretch it out. And so there's just everything's bigger, jumps are bigger, tricks are bigger. So it's literally it's a comparison of basically like a lights Supercross 250 going up to the 450s. There's a big stepping stone there, and so I guess basically she's graduating. She gets to learn the bigger tricks and the bigger jumps and things like that. So she's got to go back to school for that. That's what's happening with her. That's why we just got her for a brief second. So you guys are stuck with me for the duration of the show. Love it or hate it. That's the way it is. But we do have Justin Brayton coming up in hour number 2. Juliana Daniel, she's coming up in the next segment. Formerly Miss Supercross. I don't know quite what her title is now. We will ask her about that. But she's going to be calling in here in a few minutes, talking some Supercross. And then, Justin Brayton, it's a 2-part interview we're airing in hour number 2. And he is just a phenomenal guy. This is one of those interviews you didn't realize how good it was until after the fact. And then we went, wow, that was really, really good. Talking just about his career and his age and his family and Supercross as we know it today. And, some of the struggles he's had in his career. But Amy tag teamed that one with me. We recorded it last Friday, right before the big Vegas event. So I think you guys are going to enjoy that in hour number 2. Definitely worth hanging out for. So if you're joining us online live, thank you. If you're joining us on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, thank you. If you are listening to us in national syndication, thank you. If you're on the American Forces Network tuning in, really thank you. Thank you guys for everything that you do for this great country of ours. But thanks to all of you guys for tuning in. And so obviously Supercross on the weekend. We talked a little bit about it with Amy. We're going to talk more with Juliana about it. But 450, the winner ended up being Eli Tomac. We had El Hombre taking that points championship, though. Cian Cerullo with a 250 win. Zach O with another East title. And Aaron Plessinger with that West title. So Supercross definitely going off there in Vegas. Makes you really excited about Monster Energy Cup coming in October. And outdoors, I don't know. It seems like outdoors is like the redheaded stepchild of motocross. Not that everybody loves it, but it's like everybody loves Supercross just a little bit more, it seems like. I don't know. There's some that like outdoors, but I don't know. When you can pack things into an arena like they do with Supercross and just pack the stands and, motocross, it's like desert racing, It's like, it's a comparison to desert racing and short course, right? You love them both. But desert racing, it just takes a special kind of person that wants to go out there and camp out and watch. And motocross outdoors is very much the same thing. You're going to get your shoes muddy and things like that. And, Supercross all nice and clean and tidy. You got somebody coming down the aisle to serve you beer and whatever else you want. So, we got outdoors coming up in a couple of weeks. But I did want to talk, kind of on the weekend. We're going to talk a little bit of all kinds of motorsports today. Big one, though, this past weekend, I don't know if it's ever happened or if it has. It's been a long time, and I'm not the biggest NHRA, expert, especially on the history and things like that, but it really caught me, and I reached out. She's traveling today, so I don't know that she's going to be able to make it. There's a slight chance she may call in hour number 2, but if not, we'll get her next week or something like that. But Leah Pritchett took the Top Fuel win in NHRA. I'm sure most of you follow her on social media, especially if you're a big fan of the Hoonigans. She's a Hoonigan driver. But Leah Pritchett, she's from the Southwest. She took the Top Fuel win this weekend. It was a big win for her and my friends there at Don Schumacher Racing, who also have Antron Brown under contract, Ron Capps, some rad people. But it was a big deal for Leah taking that Top Fuel win. But to me, what caught me was that in addition to Leah taking the Top Fuel win, Courtney Force took the funny car win. And I know we don't we talk with drag racing personalities, but to me that's such a massive deal. 2 women taking the top of the box in NHRA. I don't know that it's ever happened, and if it has, it's been a long time, but that is so freaking rad that we've come to a point in motorsports now and today where women are equals. Women are better than men in certain times, like this weekend. I just think it's so freaking rad that these girls are just slaying it in NHRA. And, out of all motorsports, NHRA has opened their arms to the female movement. You've got, obviously the Force girls and Leah Pritchett and Angel and, in the past, you had Alexis Jajora. The list goes on. You've got legends, Chacha Muldowney and things like that. But right now, it's so awesome. These girls are just slaying it. They've got amazing contracts, and their social media is just popping. They're doing such an amazing job. But for 2 of them to just destroy the guys, it's awesome just to see that movement that we've got 2 women standing on top of the box in NHRA this weekend. So a big shout out to Leah Pritchett and to Courtney Force. Courtney been on the show quite a few times, and Leah just kind of, I guess we've had people from DSR on before, but not necessarily Leah. So hopefully we can change that sometime soon. But definitely some cool notes on the weekend. So would love to hear from you guys, what you guys think on this or just about anything. We got some segments today, especially in hour number 2. So if you got any questions, hit me up. It's at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. That's the one I'm monitoring today while I'm on the show. So lots of places to get a hold of me. At JimBeaver15 on Twitter is going to be the one today. That's going to be the hot ticket. So tag me. Let me know what you guys think on that or just about anything. We definitely got some time today, so I would love to take some fan questions, especially in hour number 2. But definitely, it was pretty awesome for NHRA to do that. They've got an off weekend. I think it's Mother's Day this weekend, so most motorsports are taking the weekend off, and then they come back here in a couple of weeks. I guess the one oddity is going to be IndyCar, which they don't actually run on Sunday. They run on Saturday. It's the Indianapolis Grand Prix, basically the road course there at Indianapolis. They run part of the former Formula One track. I used to watch that on TV when F1 was around there. It was an amazing track, especially that first corner. But it's a modified version of the F1 track. That is this weekend. That is Saturday. I am actually hopping a flight Thursday to Indianapolis. I'm going to be doing a lot of interviews with a lot of the IndyCar drivers, kind of talking about the month of May. We're going to talk about the month of May in hour number 2 quite at length because it's people who live in Indianapolis call it the year of May. It's so massive. It's one of those you've got to be there to experience and feel it. But I'm hopping a plane to Indianapolis, flying in Thursday. I'll be at the track Friday, Saturday, flying out late Saturday night back here to Arizona. But it's that event is become the kickoff to the Indy 500, and I'm really looking forward to that. It's a unique event, some amazing personalities around there, still a packed house, and it's kind of like the kickoff to the entire month of May there at Indy. So I'm definitely heading out there. So that's another one. We've had a lot of IndyCar drivers the past year and a half on this show. If you got obviously Hinch, Rossi, the list goes on about the personalities we've had, Connor Daly. I'm just trying to think who else. Sebastian Bourdais. We've had a ton when I was back there. But if there's anybody you guys want me to target while I'm back there this weekend, are you a fan of some IndyCar driver? Obviously, I'm getting pinged right now on Twitter as we say that. Danica, right? I will make you guys a promise. That one, if you want to talk about somebody that's going to be in demand in the month of May, that is Danica Patrick. I will make you guys a promise. I will reach out to her PR people and see if we can get Danica on the show. I don't think she's going to be at the Grand Prix this weekend. I think she's probably going to have the last weekend off for a couple, so she's probably going to spend it at home. But I will reach out to Danica's people. We'll see if we can get her on the show at some point, get a 10, 15-minute interview with her. But no promises, man. That one's going to be a tough get, especially the month of May. But I don't think she'll be back there this weekend, so I don't think there's really a chance I'm going to be able to nail that one down. But we will do our best to get Danica Patrick on the show in the month of May. I will promise you guys that. We will reach out to her people. We'll try and make something happen. But that one is going to be tough. I think everybody and their brother and their sister and their wives and their uncles are trying to get them on their show, whether it be TV, radio, magazines, print, social, web, whatever. Everybody wants Danica this month. So I will try for you guys. I'm promising you guys I will try, but I don't know that that one is going to happen. But we'll do our best. I always try for you guys. So it's all I can say. But we are going to take a short break here. We come back. We get a little more Supercross talk. We got Juliana Daniel, personality for Fox Sports 1 and Supercross, former Miss Supercross. We don't want to call her that anymore, but she's going to be on the line here in hour number 1 coming up after the break. So you got any Supercross questions? Got questions for Juliana? Make sure and hit us up at JimBeaver15 on Twitter. Don't need to tag Amy today because she is off at Monster Jam University and she's not reading those tweets. But I am at JimBeaver15. We'll get those questions answered for Juliana or for just random anything you guys got. Hit me up on Twitter and we'll get them in the show. Thank you guys. We'll be back after this short break with Juliana Daniel here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
And we are back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my next guest to the line, Juliana Daniel. How is everything going?
Good morning, Jim. Everything is going great.
That is good.
Back on with y'all.
Yeah, it's great. Amy was on in the beginning earlier. She races Monster Jam, as you know, and she's actually at Monster Jam University. She works for Feld, obviously, but she's training for something at Monster Jam University. So she said to tell you hi, and she's bummed she missed you, but we'll have to get you on here again sometime soon. That way you guys can catch up.
Yeah, oh, dang, I was hoping to get to talk to her as well. Well, I missed her. Hi, Amy. Have fun.
She's probably tuned in listening. She just can't be on air right now. So,
perfect.
Yeah. So you survived another Supercross season, barely. I gotta ask you, because I didn't watch your Instagram live. You knew this question was coming. What the heck did you do to your butt? It was like, seriously, that looked like it was brutally painful.
Well, it's funny. This past weekend, I literally kept joking with people. I was like, I should have just, written it all down, typed it out on a piece of paper, and just handed out flyers. Because that was the only thing that anyone asked me all weekend was, how's your butt? Is it okay? How are your stitches? I'm like, geez, guys, let's talk about something else. We do have a finals going on this weekend. So basically, Jim, it's really there's no way to tell this story short. But there is, whenever I go skiing at Snowbird, which has been now 2 times, and I've only been skiing 3 times in my life, the guy that always takes us at Snowbird, Brian Brown, he always knows, if there's an area of the mountain I shouldn't ski down or I'm not going to want to ski down, I just unclip my skis and I just slide down on my butt. So that was, what we did last year, and it was fine. And this year, because basically at Snowbird, their blues are they're blacks on every other mountain, because it's actually a really challenging mountain. So I really shouldn't be skiing there anyways. But Sunday morning, I skied Thursday and it was fine. Sunday morning we got there. We were there earlier. It was colder, and one of the trams that we normally use to get back up was broken. So we had to go on a different run, which I thought we were just going a different way to get back up, but it was a different run, and it was the run that I actually hate. It was a way harder run that I'm used to. So there were these 2 hills, and Brian was like, okay, Juliana, you're going to want to unclip here and just slide down. So I was like, okay, great. So I slid down the first one, and it was fine. It was a little bit, a little quick compared to normal, because it was pretty icy. So then I get to the second one, and I was like, well, dang, this is kind of like an infinity drop-off here. I couldn't see the drop. I could just see, the trees on the other side. So I Jenny Tapp was with me, and so was one of the guys in the front office. He's in marketing, Sean Brennan. And so they had already started skiing down it. And I was scooting up closer to the edge going, all right, this is pretty steep, but whatever, it'll be fine. I have no other choice. So I start sliding down it. And the next thing I know, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going really effing fast. And I was trying to dig my boots in, trying to slow down, trying to do anything. I couldn't slow down. And I'm like, oh my God, I need to I'll try to turn over. So I started to try to turn myself over, and I got on my left hip. And the next thing I know, I just slammed my hands into the ice, which was all ice. And it cut up my shirt, ripped my gloves. And I'm so I'm still sliding down this thing, not slowing down at all. And I just barely turn my head, and all I see is Jenny cutting back across. And I was like, oh my God, Jenny. And I completely take her out. I mean, both legs, yard sailed, all of her stuff. She goes down. She starts sliding down behind me. We get to the bottom. And, of course, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, my God, Jenny, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? This and that. She's like, no, I'm fine. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't turn. I couldn't stop, nothing. She's like, I'm fine. I'll have a bruise on my butt. It's not a big deal, this and that. And then she's like, I think you're bleeding. And I'm like, haha, funny. All I was doing was sliding, not bleeding. And she's like, no, really, it's all over the ice. And so, yeah. So basically it was either Jenny's ski. At first we thought it was ice, because literally the entire hill was ice. I mean, it was terrible conditions for me, a beginner skier. So they think it was either her ski or her boot or something when I took her out that cut my butt.
Oh, jeez.
left me with a nice little bruise and some great stitches, which I still haven't. So,
and an even better story.
You know, it's like, I know, but you know, it's funny. It's like, it's a bittersweet that I actually hit her, because if I hadn't hit her, I truly don't know where I would have stopped, or if it would have been a tree that would have stopped me, or if I would have just kept going down a different part of the mountain. So as much as I hated hitting her, like, I was really glad that I did, because she slowed my momentum down, and I was able to only come out with just a scar on my butt.
Well, it could have been worse. You could have took it like in the ribs or something like that. So, I mean, I guess if you're going to take a hit, the butt's probably the best place. I'm assuming. I don't know. You know.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know. That's why I said, like, as long as it's not a broken bone and it's not another scar on my face, I'm good. I'll take it.
Take it. So
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that made you an eventful finale at Supercross for multiple reasons, but
it did. It did. I couldn't really sit down to, like, talk to the fans when I had to do stuff in the stands. I couldn't walk that great. But you know, it made it fun. Everyone was asking me how my butt was, and it's fine now. Like, my tailbone actually really is the worst part. I'm actually headed to see Dr. G in Newport today for him to hopefully make that better, because that's not ideal right now. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm here. I survived Vegas. I survived the crash. We're good.
Well, you survived the crash, you survived Vegas, and we got to talk about Vegas, because we could joke about this the rest of the segment. But Vegas, I got to say, you coming into Supercross, you've had, like, I can remember when the finales were pretty boring in Supercross, because somebody had it clinched, you know, weeks in advance, and it was just like, ho-hum, another event. Like, the past couple of years have been insane. I mean, Vegas, there was championships on the line. Guys are still competing. Like, I mean, it was just another one for the books. I mean, it's got to been exciting the past couple of years for you, being able to ride this roller coaster of just epic racing.
Yeah, and you know what it's funny, because I love watching these guys race, and of course, like, I start to just from being around certain ones more so often at, you know, because some of the guys will talk to me more than other ones. When I've been with Race Day Live, I've gotten to do interviews with some of them, not all of them. So I've gotten to know some of them better than others. And so I kind of, like, you know how you just kind of like, oh, I just hope he wins. So it wasn't until 2 weekends ago when everything just got all switched around that I was like, oh, wait, no, like, I want my people to win. But at the same time, showing up to Vegas going, oh my God, we have literally 3 championships that we don't really know the outcome of yet. Yeah. And it was just really cool. I mean, it's exciting for not only the fans, which of course, like, they love, but it's really exciting for everyone that works on the circuit and that actually is there every day, every weekend. Because it keeps it interesting for us, even, you know, because it's, as an announcer, as a host, as someone who works there, like, it's easy to kind of get complacent with what you ask or what you think or this and that. So when it was all mixed up and switched up, like, it just kind of, like, refuels that fire. And to have that refuel, like, right at the end of the season, it's amazing. It really is amazing. It makes it even harder to know that it's all gone, because, like, you're all fired up now, and we're like, well, that was the last weekend, so bottle it up, save it for next year.
Right. Wait till October, you know? It's like, oh, man, it's tough. And, you know, it's funny, because I know we talked to you at the beginning of the year, and you kind of, I guess your position kind of morphed this year. Well, I guess that would be the easiest way to say it. It kind of morphed. And you were really excited because you get to go kind of behind the scenes and learn more about the riders and their families and, like, some of that. You know, you get to dig a little bit deeper. And that's one thing that Amy and I, Friday, and we're going to air it actually after this clip, but we spent like 30 minutes with Justin Brayton. And his story is insane this year. And, like, you know, and I've learned, like, behind the scenes last year with Ryan Dungey, I interviewed him a few times. You get to learn about them behind the scenes and how they really are. And, like, with Justin Brayton and his family and, like, talking about some of the things that really challenged him in his 20s. And now in his 30s, he's riding at the best he's ever ridden, because he went through the challenges he had with anxiety and things like that, you know. And then, but it's just not him. I mean, Jason Anderson's got his story, and everybody's got a story, and it's so amazing that now, you know, through social media and through what you're doing and podcasting and radio, like, these stories with these guys are not just these gladiators that are there on a dirt bike. Like, we're getting to, I feel like we're getting to know them, you know?
Yeah, and I think that was always my passion for them, to be able to kind of expose that. And I think that thankfully a lot of them still associate me with just being me, not like, oh, she's the host for TV or she's the host, because they'll actually open up and they'll be themselves. Like when I show up to an interview with Race Day Live, or even just doing social media when I do it with Shane from Feld, like they know, like, okay, it's just Juliana. Like they, I can ask them like, what are you gonna put your peanut butter on first or your jelly on first? Like it's relaxed, like it's just chill. Like I just want to get them to shine out, like who they are, and show the fans like who is Jason Anderson off the track. Like what do you do for fun, or who is Aaron Plessinger? Like he, a lot of these guys, like they don't get to see the real them, because all they see, the people at home who don't get to come to the races and actually go to their rigs and have an autograph signed by them in person, they just see the interview on Fox or FS1, and that's not who they are. It's a side of them, but their real personalities shine when you can kind of like go dig deep, like, ask them questions about their families, or, they got a baby on the way, or they just had a baby, or, they're struggling with this. Like, that's like, I know I told y'all before, but that's like what I love doing, because it's them, and it gives them a chance to just kind of relax. So it was really fun. I would have loved to have even gotten to do more over the season, but I think that we've kind of planted a good seed, and I'm just really hoping that it'll grow and even do some stuff maybe in the off season with these guys. Like I've said before, like I would love to go down to some of the training facilities and train with them, and kind of give the young riders like an insight of how they train even in the off season or during moto, and just let them know, like, they're superheroes. They don't just show up on Saturday and do their thing. Like, they're working all the time. So it's been fun. And I think that the guys like it too, because it allows them to kind of just be themselves and know that it's okay to joke around with me. And, Aaron Plessinger was teaching me how to dance, like his dance moves, and then I was teaching him stuff. Like, it's fun. Like, it's just chill. And I hope that the fans liked it, and I hope that, they appreciate like seeing the other side of these guys, which I think they do. I've gotten a lot of good feedback, so it was great. I love being in the position I was, and like I said, I hope that it grows into something even bigger and better.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I think I think I liked seeing that side of people, but I think you've helped bring that out. But I think the riders, like you said, like they get asked the same question: how's the bike feeling this weekend? What's it going to take to win? They get the same monotonous questions, and I hate to say that, but some people really like that, but I think a lot of people, they like you said, they don't want to know about the bike, they want to know about the person. And and I think that's one thing you've helped bring out, and I think that's one thing I've enjoyed with what you've done. It's like you get to see this other side of them, and I think the riders like showing that too. So I think it's been a win-win.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So season winding down. Obviously, it's over now. But what's you've got a bunch of irons in the fire. What's things look like for you up until Monster Energy Cup? I guess when we see you with Supercross again.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm hoping, Jim. I'm hoping that I will be at MEC, because normally, judging the past 2 years, I have not been at MEC. I was at MEC 3 years ago because that was my audition. But because Feld never uses the same announcers on the floor for MEC, they usually don't. TV will sometimes say, "Yeah, come on." I think I was there my first year actually, but I was only doing TV. Last year I didn't go. So if TV brings me, or will say like, "If you're here, we'll use you," then I'll come down. And I always debate. I'm like, do I just go as a fan? But it's just so hard to just go as a fan. Like, I love going to work as well. So I'm hoping that I do go. I do get to go to MEC and be a part of the actual show. Only time will tell with that. But, yeah, this summer, like I said, I'm hoping to maybe be able to film some more stuff behind the scenes. I don't know if we can, kind of try to lock up a few things and have them sitting there waiting for us next year if I do get re-signed, because that's always an unknown as well. You never know. But aside from that, I'm in the process of kind of putting some feelers out into some different hosting positions that I have been dragging my feet on but really want. So first things first, I need to redo my reel, which is too old for me to submit to things. I'm like, no, that's not really who I am anymore. That's like kind of like first on my list, is to redo that and then submit it out to some different companies and hopefully get some work over the summer doing some hosting things and all of that, and just kind of enjoying the summer. I love being in California during the summer. So
No place
That's
better
about
in
all
the
I have
summer,
on my
that's
plate
for
at this
sure.
point. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I'll be still doing stuff with the supplement company that sponsors me. That's back home in Atlanta. So I'll either do videos or we attend some different fitness shows, and I work with them there. And I don't think I plan on competing anytime soon, so that's probably not on the list. But my supplement company, I always do stuff for them year in and out. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. We got to go to a commercial break, Juliana, but
Okay.
we'll definitely have to catch up a little more often than once or twice a year.
I know, right? Well, thank you so much for reaching out and having me on, Jim, and everyone listening. Thank y'all.
All right. Thanks, Juliana. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners and for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, just getting done with Juliana Daniel from Supercross, one of your on-air personalities. Always fun catching up with her. Just a phenomenal personality, and hopefully her butt is recovering. Seriously, you guys ought to go check her out on Instagram. One, she's just a rad person to follow. Always posting stuff behind the scenes at Supercross and things like that. But two, there's some brutal pictures. I mean, it looks like she was in like a Game of Thrones battle on the tundra with swords and got stabbed in the butt. Yeah, like literally, it was. It's pretty gnarly. There's like red snow, and I mean, it looks like I don't want to say something out of a horror movie because she's laughing about it, but like in the picture, she's laughing about it. So, but it's just brutal, man. But stoked that she is doing better. Thank you guys for tuning in. Coming up in hour number 2, we got some Best of the Desert results. We got that interview with Justin Brayton, 2-part interview, and we got a bunch to talk about the month of May. Some crazy news coming out of NASCAR, like literally crazy news coming out of NASCAR about them actually being sold potentially. So it's definitely going to be a wild hour number 2 here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And I just got notice that Leah Pritchett is calling in hour number 2 to the show. So boom, things just got better. Leah Pritchett on the line, hour number 2. So you don't want to miss that one here. And if you guys want some more from me and the Down and Dirty Radio Show, make sure and check out our second show, Project Action, on Podcast One. Always good stuff on Project Action on Podcast One. It's definitely a fun show, different mix. Sometimes we have musicians, sometimes racers, sometimes action sports athletes, but you can get all that over on iTunes. So make sure and subscribe on iTunes to Project Action on Podcast One. Get more of our great content. We're going to take a short break. We come back, more on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Next segment brought to you by our good friends at General Tire, reminding you that anywhere is possible. Make sure and use that hashtag when uploading your pics to social media. Let General Tire know where you are going on their tires. This segment, Best in the Desert Silver State 300, one of the smaller events on the Best in the Desert calendar, but still a ridiculously good entry list. This one, it's kind of the one right before the Baja 500, so teams are getting ready for that. So it's like if they're running for Best in the Desert Points Championship, they run, but sometimes they don't because they're running for, they want the Baja 500, especially this year. It's the 50th anniversary Baja 500. But looking over things, man, we had that Down and Dirty Radio Show luck once again. Our good friend Justin Matney, he ended up taking the overall victory and, comes on the show, boom, comes away with an overall victory. It's just magic here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. It happens just once in a while, right? But Justin Matney, big shout out to him. Tracy Groff, solid effort by him, second. Brett Serapis, third. Johnny Angel just barely missing the podium. Stoked for my boy Johnny in fourth. Steve Ologis in fifth in Trick Truck. Looking at Class 1's Lad Gilbert, a different name there on top of the box. Big shout out to him. Pat Dean, the legend, in second. Mike Baldy in third. Looking down at the UTV ranks, Pro UTV Turbo, it was Logan Gastel with a win. Phil Blurton and my boy Brandon Sims, factory Polaris RZR driver. He finished up there on the podium in third. It was Ryan Holes and Justin Lambert in Polaris rounding out the top five. And then big shout out to Sierra Romo, going solo in her dad's rig there, and clean, consistent, sixth overall. Not a bad showing for Sierra Romo out of 30-plus entries. So big shout-out to her and my friends over at the Romo camp. And UTV Pro, it was Brock Smith, Cody Nygren, Caden Wells, 1, 2, and 3, and my friend Seth Quintero there in fourth. So solid effort by them. Looking at the dirt bikes, motorcycles, Open Pro, it was Brody Hania in first overall. So big shout out to him in Open Pro there in Best in the Desert. So, lots of winners on the weekend, 6,100. Just kind of looking through real quick. We had Corey Terry taking the win in 6,100. UTV Unlimited, Bill Whittington taking that victory there. So full results up at Best in the Desert's website at bitd.com. And we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to roll right into that interview, two-part interview with Justin Brayton here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than join Polaris in their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the two-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
And we're back here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. I'd like to welcome our guest to the line, Justin Brayton. How is everything going, my man?
It's going great. Happy to be in Vegas, and looking forward to the final round of Supercross.
Yeah, well, talking about being in Vegas, I got to ask you, when 2018 started, were you expecting to have a year like this? I mean, I'm looking at things, and you got to be pretty stoked on the way 2018 has rolled out for Justin Brayton.
I'm really stoked. Honestly, you always expect to do well, and I did feel really good coming into the season, but to look back on the year and to have won Daytona and won a couple Triple Crown races and several podiums and fourth in points right now, man, it's been honestly a dream season. And I couldn't have asked for much better. We're healthy, and I've really enjoyed it. I've been super happy with the team and the bike and everything. So it's been one of them years where just everything has gelled together, and I'm looking forward to closing it out, hopefully with another win in Vegas.
Yeah, well,
yeah. I mean, it's crazy because you're one of the oldest guys on the gate, and a lot of them are you seeing, hanging up their boots at 30 years old, and here you are, just slaying, having your career year for sure. Like, do you see this kind of igniting for a couple more Supercross seasons under your belt, or do you want to go out with a bang?
No, I'm having so much fun, and
nice.
I'm ready to go a couple more years for sure. It's been such a cool balance to have my family now, have a couple kids. And I just feel like when I was 25 or 26, I really didn't have all the tools to go win races. I maybe had the equipment, but I didn't have the mindset, and I didn't have the attitude. And I just always felt so much pressure, where now there's really no pressure. If I was to go out after this weekend, I'd be totally happy with my career. And I think that sheds a lot of pressure and lets me ride like I know how to ride. And I've been doing that this year. So, yeah, a couple more years, and then we'll kind of reevaluate after that. But I'm ready to go again.
Yeah. Does it make it for you? You know, you mentioned having your family, and I know they've been on site at some of your wins this year. I mean, does that feel? I mean, you as a rider, is that? You know, it's got to feel good being able to share that with somebody now. You know, you've got this family, you got this support system there, but being able to share those moments with other people, you know, that's got to feel really good for you.
It really is. It's awesome to share the highs, but I think it's even better to share the lows, and the lows aren't near as low as they used to be. You know, when I come home, my 3-year-old daughter doesn't know if I won or got last, and she could really care less. So. It really is. It's really cool, and for my daughter, and my son's 8 months, so he doesn't really kind of know what's going on. But my daughter gets to watch me on TV and gets to go with Daddy to the track, and it's honestly I couldn't ask for a better time to be this successful. Just because I can share it with them, and that's what helps me keep going. I don't ever dread the week, you know, as far as putting in the work and things like that. So I'm having more fun than ever. I feel like I'm riding better than ever. I'm maybe more fit than I ever have been. So I'm going to keep it rolling. And I think it's a great testament to the younger riders that, you know, you don't have to turn pro when you're 16, and you don't have to be done when you're 27. You can, you know, I did my first Supercross when I was 22, and here I am at 34, still rolling.
Yeah. Well, I
love how exciting you sound talking about your family, and it is a really good lesson how, you know, family-driven motorsports really is, and that, you know, kind of comes full circle, and that it's nice to hear you talk so positively about that. Cool.
Yeah, I think, 10 years ago, it was kind of our sport that had taught us that when you have kids, you're done pretty much. You couldn't race
absolutely.
At a high level, and now you have myself and Chad Reed and Zach Osborne's winning 250 championships with a kid and one on the way, and there's several of us that are doing it, and I think it's cool because it's a family sport. All when we were young, growing up, and then when we turned pro, it's like you can't have a family. They taught us not to. Where now it's different. It's, you know, bring our family to the racetrack, have them enjoy it, and we enjoy it as racers.
Yeah, well, and
I love that.
You know, and I know me, like, you know, I come from an off-road desert racing background, and I grew up out at the track with my dad. And then when the time came, I mean, I went out pre-running with him, and you know, went to Baja with him, and he shared it with me. And I know Amy, her dad, you know, raced, and he shared the love of motocross.
62 years old and just won the over 50 World Championship. So I mean, the guy still shreds.
But with you, you know, now
that's awesome.
You know, you've got a daughter there. She's 3. I mean, she's to the point where she can, you know, probably hop on a dirt bike pretty quick. You know, that's got to be pretty rad for you to be able to, you know, share those moments, pass it down, and be able, you know, you're still, you know, riding at an elite level, and be able to, you know, share track time with her at some point. Like, that's got to be, you know.
Is she on a bike?
She doesn't have a bike yet, but she loves riding around with me, and it's funny. I actually just talked to Honda this week about getting me a couple mini bikes. So they're on the way, and you know, a lot of people ask that question: Are your kids going to ride? And you know, I'll let them do whatever they want to do. I think it's great for girls to learn how to ride, or you know, for sure boys to learn how. And I think it teaches them how to ride a motorcycle, and I think it helps them drive better maybe when they're 16 or know the consequences of crashing a car because the motorcycle a couple times, you know. So yeah, I think it's great. I think we all grew up doing this as a family, and I've got on for many more years.
Yeah. So going back to 2018, man, we gotta circle back and talk about this year. I mean, you know, going into the year, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, you really didn't have any expectations, but I know Amy's kind of our data analyst here. She's gonna throw a bunch of numbers at you, you know, your career and changing bikes. But I got to talk about crossing the finish line at Daytona, because at some point as an athlete, I mean, I know I'm 37, and the closest I've got to a trophy truck win is second place, and that is a monkey on my shoulder. I've won at every other level, but, you know, I just haven't been able to cross the finish line and, you know, in first. And at some point I'll go, you know, like, I'm okay if I finish my career in second, you know, with the best finish in trophy truck is second. But, you know, you had to come into this year and you're not expecting to take a win, but, you know, you always want to, and you're riding at that level. But, you know, taking a win in Supercross is tough, man. And to win at Daytona, I mean, that had to have been the icing on the cake.
Absolutely, and it took me 130 tries to get a Supercross win, so that kind of tells you how tough it is. I've gotten several seconds and a lot of thirds, but just never could quite seal the deal. And to be quite honest, Daytona's been my worst track in my career. I go there, and I think my best finish ever there was 6th. And I just kind of go there with somewhat of a bad attitude because I'm more of like a Supercross technical guy, and I really like whoops and stuff like that, where Daytona's more of an outdoor track. And for some reason this year just felt different. The track was different. I came off from first practice, and I told my mechanic, Tony Berluti, I said, man, this track is awesome. I'm having so much fun out there. And that, as you know, that can kind of propel you into maybe having your best night, and just your attitude, can really help you do well. And I just started to execute the day. I started to get, get really confident on the track and with my bike set up, and it was great. I got great starts. I knew I needed to get great starts. That's a track that you have to get a good start. And I just kind of took it came and tried to execute every phase of the day, from time qualifying, to do well, to get a good gate pick for the heat race. I won my heat race, which gave me a great gate pick for the main event. And it just started to snowball. And once I got out front, it was just like a practice day. I just started clicking off laps, and I felt great. And to cross that checkered flag was a feeling I've never felt. Just so much happiness, but honestly, so much relief too. Like, I've read so many things, and people have said, I'm in that group of maybe best in history to never win a race, to never win a Supercross. And that's what I instantly thought was, I'm no longer on that list. Now I'm the oldest rider in history to win a race, and that's pretty cool. So, it's been a dream season, and like I said, I'll continue to enjoy it, and also ready for more.
Yeah. Well, Daytona is a pretty good depiction of what we can kind of expect to see come outdoor series. You usually see guys who are stronger outdoor riders, finish better at Daytona, and it kind of switches the game up a little bit. But so considering this win, do you think you're going to be lining up for the 2018 outdoor series this year?
No, I'm definitely not going to be lining up for the outdoor series. It's been tempting for sure, but I've got a schedule and a program now that I really believe in. Do Supercross here in the States. I'm planning to go back to Australia, take my family over there as a little mini vacation, but also race their Supercross series. And I think that really gets me a jump start into our Supercross series here. And it just gives me some family time during the summer. And, we talk about my age quite a bit, and, let's be honest, I can't really, it's not physical, it's more mental for me, just to have a mental break during the summer, to be a dad, to be a husband, to be a friend, to be a son. Like, I get to go see my family in Iowa for a few weeks, and I just really get to kind of detach myself from racing. And then it gives me that extra mental capacity to, when I do fire it back up, it's go time. And I think that's what really has helped me this year. And if I did the outdoors, it would be a 12-month program again. And I don't really want to do that. Nothing against outdoors. I love outdoors. Like I said, to enjoy this part of my family's life and have more of a balance.
And we'll be back with more from Justin Brayton after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for, no fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island, the best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We got more with Justin Brayton in our pre-event taped interview from Las Vegas Supercross that we did last week. So here's more with Justin Brayton. You know, that being said, I mean, obviously it's guns a-blazing for this weekend, Las Vegas. What's it going to take for you to get on top of the box?
I think just the same as Daytona, just take the day as it comes, execute, my day as well as I can. I know it sounds boring, but every phase of the day, from the time you wake up, I believe the day starts, and you gotta be fast in practice to get a good gate pick for the heat race. And like I said, it just snowballs, and typically I really like Vegas. The whoops are typically difficult and some bigger jumps. And there's nothing like this finale here. And, I hope to get the job done again. I have a great feeling. Yeah, we'll try and get another win.
Yeah.
Have you had the opportunity to do a track walk yet down there?
I haven't. No, I actually just got to the track, and we'll do a press conference here in a little bit, and then we'll get on track here in a couple hours for the press and get to check it out then.
Yeah. Well, and here's a question, and this is forward-looking. I mean, obviously Triple Crown was something new they brought in this year. You were really successful at the Triple Crown rounds this year. I mean, taking some wins there. And, looking forward at something like Monster Energy Cup where it's the same type of format, do you feel like, you got some momentum, for October this year with what you've accomplished in Supercross and, your success in the Triple Crowns to maybe make a run at that $1 million in October?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the Triple Crown format. I think it throws us, a little bit of a curveball and really throws something different as far as executing the day. It's not just one 20-minute main event. I believe you've got to have more fitness and more intensity throughout the day. You've got to be a really good starter. And I take pride in kind of being a good starter my whole career and getting good starts. So there's so many different aspects of it that are thrown our way, and I like that. It takes a great team. There's not hardly any time to prepare the bikes in between motos, so it really takes more of a team effort, and I love that. I really do. I had great success. I got top 5 in all the Triple Crowns this year with a couple wins and some podiums. So $1 million in October is looking awful nice.
It's interesting for you to say that because it just, Jim and I have always talked about the Triple Crown and our thoughts on it, but we've never had a racer's point of view. And it's interesting to hear yours because it just shows how much confidence you have in your program and your team. To accept something more challenging is pretty unique to see someone so confident in that. I like it.
Yeah, and I think I've just been at it for so long now that the 20-minute main is just, it honestly can get monotonous because whether you're first or sixth, sometimes the race can be really boring because there's not much going on. And you can, like, for instance, last weekend, I would just rode around in fifth or sixth pretty much the whole race and kind of uneventful, and you're just watching the time tick down. Where in a Triple Crown, it's all in. It's, 10 minutes to the first one, and it's a full sprint. So I like it. I like anything new, and as a fan, I would really enjoy watching that for sure.
Yeah. Well, and I guess, that puts it in perspective because I never thought of that as a rider. You guys, you slot in, and like you said, you can, slot in at, say, fifth, and there gets to be a little gap before and after, and it makes passing tough. I mean, obviously it gets exciting when you get into lappers and things like that, but, it's like things slot in, and, and it gets really tough to make up time because you guys are all running comparable laps, so it's like you don't want to be the guy that takes that massive risk to gain, a half a second on a lap, you know what I mean, but risk throwing away the entire race. So I never really thought about it from a racer perspective, but there comes some point where it just ticks down. So when every second counts and every position counts in like a, in a the Triple Crown format, it's definitely, I never really figured, but it makes it more exciting for you racers.
Yeah, for sure. And going into the third one, we're always looking at, all right, what do I need to get first or second or whatever it may be. And like you said, every position really matters. I mean, I tied for third at Anaheim 2 Triple Crown, so I ended up getting fourth because Anderson beat me in the last moto. And there at Minneapolis at the last one, I was tied for first for a while, and then ended up getting past. And yeah, so every little position matters. Every gate drop matters. And like I said, as a fan, if you watch a 20-minute main, it can be pretty boring, really 5 or 6 minutes in, because the field is kind of just, like you said, separated a little bit. We're all going about the same speed, where Triple Crown, it's everything all in, and the track is fresh, so we can go even faster, take more risks, and take different lines. So create some parity and some better racing. And like I said earlier, you got to have a lot of fitness too, because the races are so intense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and how has your fitness changed? I mean, obviously you said at 34, you got to approach, racing Supercross different. I mean, your fitness level, obviously you said you think you're the fittest in your career. I think a lot of guys at 2021, when they're just in shape just because, it makes it makes going out and racing a little bit easier. I mean, how has that changed? How's your fitness program changed at this point in your careers from, say, 7-8 years ago?
And adding in the dad schedule, because
that's the toughest part is adding in being a dad. But I mean, to be honest, I think it's helped me a lot, mainly just because of the fact of balancing it out. When I was 25 or 26 and I wasn't married and I didn't have kids, I was dirt bikes 24/7, and I would train. And I just think I trained way too much, and I thought about it way too much, which made me, which created anxiety and a lot of stress, where now I fit in the training around being a dad and being a husband. And, and I think when I am on the motorcycle, I put in a lot of work. And when I have that time, I do put in a lot of work, but it's not around the clock. It's not 24/7. And I think that creates a lot more mental space and more rest, for the weekends. And when I show up on the weekends, I'm ready to go. I'm not stressed out, or I don't have that anxiety I used to have with all the pressure, and I'm not tired from the week. So, 17 weekends pretty much in a row with only one weekend off can really, get you down and get you tired. So, I think just fitting in the dad schedule and fitting in some training here and there. Obviously I still ride the motorcycle a lot, which is the main thing, but I just think it's created a lot more balance and helped me be more fresh for the weekends.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call into the show. Amy, you got anything for Justin before we let him go?
No, just let it all hang out this weekend and, wake up with a smile and kick butt, man. We're definitely rooting for you.
Awesome. Thank you guys for
It's been cool
having me.
watching
And
your career
looking
progress,
Yeah,
thanks so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were definitely,
Cool.
I got to say, we cover Supercross every day on the show or every week, and we kind of recap, and it's like, you've been the fun one to talk about this year. Like, I mean, it's like you were, I can't say you came out of nowhere because we all knew who Justin Brayton was, but this year, seeing you have a career year, I mean, it's been fun for us to talk about. So for that, I thank you, man.
Yeah. It's been great. Like I said, it's been just a dream season from all fronts, from family side of things and team, and everyone's really gelling well and having a lot of fun. So
that's what it's all
thanks
about.
again for having me on, and I have a good feeling about tomorrow night. So hopefully give you guys something to talk about after the race.
All right.
Awesome.
Sounds good, buddy.
Cool, man.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Bye-bye.
thanks.
Bye.
Awesome catching up with Justin Brayton. He ultimately ended up 5th in the 2018 Monster Energy Supercross Championship. So, just a rad season by him. Like, he had a list of accomplishments: heat race wins, Triple Crown win, Daytona win. List goes on, man. Like, oldest racer to ever win a Supercross win. Just a ton of stuff. So, thank you, Justin, for for calling in. You just signed that 2-year contract. So, congrats on that. Big news. We were going to have a segment next where we kind of talk the month of May and some other stuff. Scratch that. Massive breaking news. We like to bring you the best, and I mean the best, interviews in all of motorsports. And right now, calling in here in about 4 minutes to the show, NHRA winner Leah Pritchett, also Hoonigan driver. She just shreds it. So late breaking news. Literally, you didn't see it in the social media graphic. You didn't read it online. Late breaking news, Leah Pritchett calling into the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Like I said, we go to work for you fans. We try and do our best to bring you the best in action motorsports entertainment, and we were able to pull a rabbit out of our hat in the 11th hour. Big thanks to my friends at Don Schumacher Racing who helped organize that. But Leah Pritchett, she will be on the line here in a few minutes on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. So, man, instead of talking NHRA, we're going straight to the source. Leah Pritchett, who was your big winner on the weekend, I think it's pretty rad, and really stoked to do that interview, making her Down and Dirty Radio Show debut here in about 3 minutes after this commercial break. So, that's right. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show powered by Polaris Razor. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, waiting on Leah Pritchett, your NHRA Top Fuel winner, to call into the show in this segment. Definitely looking forward to that, man. We're going to talk some NHRA, talk some month of May in IndyCar, and things just got a little bit better when you find out Leah Pritchett is calling into the show. So no complaints here whatsoever. Once again, big thanks to my friends at Don Schumacher Racing for helping make this happen. But I know Leah's on the road, so she should be calling in here shortly, but just trying to deliver some epic interviews to you listeners of the show. And, it's one of those things. Better to have somebody call in and talk about it who was there and actually accomplish something than me just, flap my gums and try and do analysis or something like that. So, hour number 2 just got a little bit better here on your favorite Action Motorsports radio show. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in, supporting us. Big thanks to our friends at Polaris Razor, Subaru, General Tire, and Dirtfish and Vision Wheel. But looks like we got Leah Pritchett calling in right now. Welcome to the show, Leah.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. How are you?
Man, well, it is a good day for me, but it's a better day for you. Anytime you're driving home after a victory, it makes the drive a little bit sweeter, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 10 hours, 14 hours, 2 hours, or 15 minutes down the street. I mean, when you're rolling home with a Wally on the front of that dash of the TF4 Schumacher team, it's good for everybody all the way around.
Yeah, well, and we got to talk about that. I mean, how's it feel? I mean, we're a little bit into the NHRA season this year. I mean, you feel like going into every year, it's like you got a little bit of a monkey on your back. It's like then you get the first Wally, and it's like, all right, the monkey's gone. Now we can kind of. It's like you get past that, and then it's like seems like when it rains, it pours sometimes.
I'd like to think so. I mean, every year that I've raced, I've come into that season with a little bit different mentality, basically because it's just circumstances. Excuse me real quick. I'm outside because I'm enjoying being home. It's been about 21 days since we've been on the road. So yeah, when you get off to a season, and everybody has high hopes and expectations, and I think that's particularly because 2017 we came out so strong, but we definitely didn't let that get us down, that we didn't have the hottest season out of the gate. And that really is because we're trying some new things. We knew that we needed to put a lot of effort into the more difficult tracks. And that's what we saw today, was just Todd and Joe accumulating everything that we had done in the beginning of this season and sticking to it, not just taking some information and kind of filing it away, but really, really chipping at it. And I think that's what we saw. I mean, we know that it wasn't, I didn't go out there and win those rounds. Those rounds were won because our race car hit the finish line first. It was able to keep traction on a track that was very, that was, not the easiest to navigate. And that's because of a lot of data and a lot of dedication that the crew chiefs had to really making sure that we, have a solid setup for these hot tracks, where last year we had, a pretty solid setup for our cool tracks. And, if everything works out perfectly in the way that we would want, we'll mix those two together for the rest of the season and keep going strong on the track.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny you mentioned that because I got to say, I'm an off-road guy, so I come from, desert racing and things like that. And this year I've been fortunate with Steve Torrance and Antron. They become friends and they went and raced a Razor with me at the Mint. But they invited me out to a couple of races. And in the past, I've been an NHRA fan for years, but you don't realize, I've been educated this year and I didn't realize what actually happened in the top fuel car and the different data. I think a lot of fans look at it and they just see a track as a track and it's straight and you just put, I guess stomp the loud pedal, as Clay would say, right? But I've, now being able to sit in a top fuel car and see what goes on and talk to the guys and, talk to the drivers and actually be there and, stand 10 foot behind a top fuel car in Vegas when you guys unleashed hell on the track. There's a lot that happens. I don't think people realize the technology and the data, that you guys are gathering and changing on the fly depending on weather conditions. And there's so much that goes into these. And I think it's been an educational experience. And I think on the outside fans looking in, they don't realize, one, how busy you are in the car, but two, how busy the guys are back in the pits after you make a run.
No, you're exactly right. And I mean, me too. Even when I was growing up, I've just been a fan of drag racing, and it looks simple, so to speak, right? These cars are blistering down the track, but it is quite exactly the opposite. So each team has about 2 crew chiefs that make the calls. And when I say make the calls, they're analyzing that data. We'll have about 52, 54 pickup channels that go into our race pack, and when you download that, you're looking at your drive shafts, where your bearings is set at, your clutch flows, how much that clutch wore, your RPMs, timing, everything that what you put into that car. Now, it doesn't pop up and say, okay, yes, the track conditions are this, and the barometer is that, and altitude and humidity. And it doesn't tell you what to do. You have to make those crew chiefs have to make those adjustments. So there's a couple different things that you can do once you have left the pit area and you're in the staging lanes before you actually get onto the racetrack. And those last minute adjustments have to do with specifically the grains that are in the air and where that altitude is changing to. But you'll change overdrive, you'll change top pulleys in the staging lanes, tire pressure. Some teams even actually change their rear tires in the staging lanes. But that's because different sizes of tire are needed for different race, for different race track temperatures, to timing maps. A crew chief will roll up there with 2, maybe 3 different timing maps within their box and make that very last minute adjustment based on what the cars ran in front of them to be able to, really put it down. Let's say, for instance, on Q2, so we just left Atlanta, that was the Southern Nationals, and Q2 of any race that you pretty much will go to or a fan will go to, you would bet that is going to be the best session of the entire weekend. Why? Because the first one is probably going to happen at about 1 or 2 p.m., and the second one's going to happen at about 4 or 5. Well, sometimes in the summer you push them back and you get down the track at about 7 p.m. That's the only time that you're going to race when it's that cool for the whole weekend. So it's going to be your quickest run. So we're second to last pair, and in front of us there had been a substantial oil down, and time is ticking. 15 minutes go by, 20 minutes go by. The sun has now set behind the grandstands. The track is cooling off significantly. So the cars that ran in our category in top fuel earlier in the session ran, probably 45 minutes, maybe 50 minutes ago, and the track had dropped, I think it was 15 degrees, and now things have changed. Things have gotten good. So Clay Milliken runs in front of us. He runs a 375. We had put in a good tune-up in our car, but we really weren't trying to push it. Well, Clay goes out there, runs a 375. I don't think anybody had run in the 70s at all that I could see. And I remember my crew chief putting his head in Todd Okahara, and he's like, dang it. He's like, because we put in a car to run like a 378. We were pushing, but not too hard. And you see Clay go out there and just rip one. And that's what we ran. We ran a 378. But for these crew chiefs to and that put us number 2 for that night, to know exactly from these such different variables, and I'm talking like 24 different variables that you change between each round, to really put it down and magnify it into an exact ET of where it's going to be fast on the track, because cars are set up differently. Some cars just get out of the hole really fast and have just an awesome 60-foot time. Some take a slower time to get out off the starting line, and then the power ramps up in, and there's different spots on the track, and of course down track, that's when the motor and the clutch go 1-to-1. And for us, we particularly had some traction issues on the top end, spinning the tire, where you're down on mile an hour. Instead of going 324 miles an hour, you're going 314 miles an hour because the tire is just slipping way more than it should. And when that happens as a driver, and you would know, I mean, you know what tire spin's all about. It wants to walk around on you. That butt end wants to go sideways back and forth. And these tracks are, these grooves are super narrow, and you stick with it, and you just have confidence that 8,000 pounds of downforce in your 11,000 horsepower car that you pretty much have detuned now to maybe 10,000 horsepower to get down a hot racetrack is going to make it to the finish line first. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. Well, and I know, and it was funny talking with Torrance, and this was in Vegas, and he was saying, which is weird because he's been really good at, and I know obviously you've got a tie-in with Torrance too, but he's been really good at the four wides, and he's like, as a driver, he's like, I hate that. He's like, he's like, you talk about everything that goes into it, and then you add two more cars at the four wides, and it's like you got so much going on, and it's like you're looking at different lights, and Steve's like, he's like, and normally you use your peripheral vision, and I've learned all this year to see where the person next to you is, and he's like, if you don't see him, you're good. If you see him, he's like, by then it's too late, but then you've got four, so then you don't get a chance to really see everything that's going on around you. And I mean, just as a driver, I mean, how are you like 2 versus 4? I mean, a guy like Steve says he hates them. He's done really well at them. But you, I mean, obviously NHRA's embraced them. We're going to see more four-wide racing. How do you as a driver, how do you like it?
Well, I'm glad that they don't happen in the countdown, just to keep things as consistent as possible. Then so you can like it or you cannot like it, but either way, it's not going to change the situation. They're going to be there.
I agree.
I have kind of changed my attitude towards, I do like it, and I'm going to spend an extra amount of time thinking about it and trying to perfect that craft. Now, I had a situation at the four wide where in our lane, it was timed out. You have 7 seconds from the first person that puts on that full stage all the way till the last person that goes in. Each person has 7 seconds to fully stage. But the reason I don't like it, okay, I'm going to get to the first and foremost, was elimination round number 1. I'm in the lane number 1 all the way to the left. And we get out there and we smoke the tires a little bit earlier than a couple other cars have done. But all I can see is that in lane number 2, that car is ahead of me. They are not smoking their tire. I cannot hear or see what lane number 3 and lane number 4, way over on the other side, like all the way on the West Coast over there. I don't know what they're doing. So I'm pedaling it. Like it's on the verge of maybe trying to get some traction, and it's got no hope of getting traction at this point. And but I stick with it, and I know, okay, maybe I might be able to make it to the finish line before lane 3 and lane 4. But I pedaled that car and stuck with it longer than I probably would have for sure than on any other normal race. But what that did is, I mean, that motor doesn't like it. Those R's come up, it's spinning the tire. We lifted the blower. We really, really hurt our favorite injector. And every properly equipped team's got 2, maybe 3 injectors, and they've got one that they really, really like. One that has been customized and has been dialed in perfectly. And that one we hurt. So when we came to Atlanta, because we're straight on the road from Houston to Charlotte to Atlanta, there's no time to take it to Aerodyne and get it fixed up. We have our backup injector in, and that changes a lot of things. Linkage is as close as possible, clearances are as close as possible, but there's certain parts that we had just really perfected. So we went into Atlanta and even I could tell a little bit of a difference even from a throttle perspective with that injector. And those are things that you just adapt to. Yeah. And obviously I think we adapted really well by winning this last weekend's race. But when it comes to the four wide, I think I had a secondary opinion about it because in Charlotte, I was racing another category as well, factory stock. So in every day, every Friday and every Saturday of that race, I would go from 4 wide, 11,000 horsepower, top fuel dragster, that mindset to, I was only racing 2 wide then, and it's still a pro tree, but I was leaving off of what you call a two-step. So my reaction time is based off how quick can I release my left foot off the brake, which the two-step is engaged on, as opposed to 45 minutes later being in a top field dragster, how quick can you slam that right foot throttle down before anybody else? So it's just different driving styles as they happen in very close proximity of time, all while at the 4-wide with a 4-wide tree, but sometimes on a 2-wide. So it's drag racing can be really, really simple. It's the first one to the finish line, but it is actually, I think, one of the most complex, most technically outrageous tip of what is new, what is going on, and who can find power and who can make it stick to the track sooner than anybody else to a detail standpoint. That's what drag racing is, and that's why those crew chiefs up there make all the calls, and then you just get like Torrance and I who just drive the race car.
Well,
just kidding. I love Torrance.
Yeah, no, I love Steve. He's become one of my. I got to tell you, when you get texts from Steve Torrance, you never know what the heck they're going to be. Let me tell you that. It's one thing I love about Steve. But talking about being busy at the 4-wides, I mean, we got to talk about triple duty at Gainesville. I mean, I call you a throwback because you'll drive anything at any given time. I mean, I think that's what everybody loves about you. But I mean, triple duty at Gainesville, that's an undertaking.
That was quite a situation. I'm not gonna lie. I knew going into it that I was gonna be pulled in a ton of different directions. But I guess how I'm looking at it is just like you said, I'll get into anything and drive anything. But that's just because that's the only choice I've ever had. Not coming from a well-off family or racing. I always had to find sponsors to drive someone else's car, and I could only drive the car that we owned, until we ran out of money. So I would have to take any opportunity that I was given or created and make the absolute most of it. And so when I drive 3 cars, and for those who might be listening but not know, so the top fuel car is first priority, and we're chasing for points. Every qualifying matters. We're trying to get ourselves into that countdown. And then this year I've added to the series the factory stock showdown, which is 7 events within the 24 events where I race factory stock for Mopar. And what that is a very, very heavily regulated class where each of the big players, Ford, Chevy, Mopar, they create a car that's from factory that you buy. I mean, any listener can buy this, and what we're running on the track is what you would buy from factory, and we're allowed to change things from a tune-up standpoint, but really we're not allowed to get heavy customization. So when a Mopar wins on the track, that is actual Mopar technology engineering power. When a Chevy does it, it comes straight from them. So it's as close. It's like pro stock, but what it stood for a real long time ago, and keeping the cost down. So I raced that car. And then when I'm the Papa John's top fuel dragster and the car's gold, Papa John himself comes to the track, and he likes to put his 71 Camaro, his original one, on the racetrack. It's fast, it's quick, it runs 9s, and I race against him in whatever I can get my hands on. And we match raced, and we raised $20,000 for the Infinite Hero Foundation. Particularly Gainesville, I was running a Copo thanks to Samtech EDU, and that I had never even sat in before. But we were able to kind of get it down the track, and we needed a little bit more time with it. But at the end of the day, that's ultimately Infinite Hero Foundation's the one that made out. But yeah, it's 3 different cars. And I have to give a big thank you to the fans to understand that when I'm at the track and I have multiple teams and places and cars to be, that I try and fit it all in, but I've never wanted there to be 48 hours and 24 hours more than when I'm racing those cars, so I can fit everything in and everybody in. Yeah, and that's going to be pretty cool for you to have a sponsor like that, that actually eats, sleeps, breathes this stuff too. He's got no problem going out there and jumping in a drag car. Like a lot of sponsors, that's they sit in suits, and you know what I mean. They love what they're seeing and things, but that's got to be cool for you to have a guy who a sponsor who he understands, because he's got no problem jumping in a drag car. He definitely understands, and I think it's because of where he came from nothing, and creating Papa John's from a broom closet, and just he is like he stands for just all-American, hard work, dedication, focus, and driven through your passion. His passion is pizza. That's how we got linked up. Was he saw the passion that I had for drag racing, and I was down on my luck, and he just wanted to help our team and I. And then and he's a car guy, and then we were able to come up with. He's like, man, let's raise some money for these charities, and he's like, I'll do it. I'll go drag race my car. I don't know how to do it. I've never been that fast before, and when he's at the track, I think our demographics really align well. Not only just from pizza, but drag racing, and even in off-road racing, it doesn't get any more dedicated to power and just pure grit. So yeah, you'll never. I don't think I've ever seen him in like a suit and tie. He'll have his jeans on and his cowboy boots, or he's wearing his race car suit and cutting it up with the guys. And he definitely is a true fit with our team and what he stands for. So hopefully there's more to come. We've got more charity challenges this year, and even Antron Brown, he races against Papa as well. And so both Antron and I have lost to Papa John this year in that charity challenge. So we need to, rack back up the number of wins here at DSR.
Yeah, I was going to say, DSR not faring so well against Papa John.
No, we'll get it, though. We'll get it.
That's too funny. That's actually pretty rad, though. Before we let you go, though, I got to say, I thought it was pretty special this past weekend. You as a female driver, you said you fought your way, you've come up from nothing, but NHRA has really embraced, I guess the female movement in motorsport and, really, embrace you guys as equals, which you are. But to have you and Courtney Force in the top two divisions in NHRA, both on the podium, is a female's fought to get where you're at. How special was that this weekend?
I thought it was super rad. From a woman's standpoint, I love it, but I'm just going to be real and honest. Courtney ran against, my boy, my Mopar guy, Hagen, in the final, and I would have loved to see Hagen win. But I was asked a similar question, and they said, what is NHRA doing with embracing the women? Did you know about that? And I'm just like you and anybody else that's seeing that National Dragster come in the mail, on every 2 weeks, just like anybody else. Of like, okay, they're what they've done is they've recognized the success that females have had and are continuing to have. But the way that I look at it is, okay, say you've got a bag, and in it and it's a bag of chips, right? Like like Craps chips or something, and 10% of them are red, and the other 80% are blue. And every time you pull up, you're 50% of the time you're getting these red chips, and maybe sometimes more than that. And you're just like, man, what's up with these red chips? Like the odds don't work out. So I don't look at it as male versus female. I just look at like what's going on with the ratio of these red chips keep doing great things and going fast and winning. And I think I dedicate it to the people we have around us. So I think because the team owners, like John, obviously those are his daughters, but with Dawn, have recognized that, yes, females can do it too. Let's surround them with the most capable and best talent, and they're going to rise to the top just as any male would. And I call it a triangle. So the fans embrace it, the sanctioning bodies embrace it, and the teams embrace it. And when you have all three parts of that triangle come together, then I think that's a successful formula to where maybe and I'm a little bit familiar with off-road series, and maybe in NASCAR, not all three parts of those triangles embrace it the same amount. And I think NHRA has done the best job of that, and they're not afraid to push it out. But they went out on a limb. I got to thank you from somebody, I think, at NHRA. They're like, whew, thanks Courtney and Leah for winning, making that women movement, give it a little bit more validation. But we didn't have to do that. That was just it just kind of, the chips fell the way that they were, and I think they're going to continue to fall like that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And before we let you go, though, got to ask. We got mutual friends over there at Hoonigan. I know you've been a Hoonigan driver for quite a while yourself, but you got any fun projects coming up with them that at some point this year?
I'd like to think so. We're in the planning phase right now, and we're really just looking at scheduling and when and where those fun things would happen. But I think what you might see is a little bit more. I want to, whether it be a build or some more serious content. There's definitely more coming down the pipe. That's for sure. I love them. I'm sure everybody does. They blow the internet up every midnight, right? Yeah. With their DP. But yeah, there'll be more to come. It probably won't be in the next month or two, but maybe like a something, by the time our countdown comes around.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Leah. You enjoy, I guess your off week or two, and we'll definitely love to get you back on later on this year. But congrats on the victory. Amazing to see you guys, and thanks for taking the time to call in.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Thank you what you do with Antron and with Torrance and crossing over between off-road and drag racing. And sometimes I feel like we're off-roading, but I appreciate that. Thanks for having me on. Yeah. And I'll hopefully talk to you next time.
Well, we had a ton of fun with them. I got to tell you, I got this thing here. If you ever want to come off-road racing, I got the platform for it. You're more than welcome anytime you want. So.
Be careful. I might just do that.
Well, Antron and Steve both got my cell number, and so does Leah there at DSR. You can text me anytime. We'll make it happen. So,
very cool.
All right. Thanks a lot, Leah. Take it easy.
Thank you. Absolutely. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, that was Leah Pritchett, your winner on the weekend. Awesome catching up with her. Amazing personality. We are going to take a short break. We come back wrapping things up here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Come to the island and rip it up this summer. Wakeboard Island. It's a skate park on water at Blue Water Resort and Casino. Check out the 2-tower cable system that pulls you and your board over the water. No boats to watch out for. No fumes. Wakeboard Island is open to all skill levels with an open center section for beginners. And for trick riders, a double side kicker in a 60-foot flat box. Wakeboard Island. The best ride this side of the Rockies. Adjacent to the River's Edge Cantina at Blue Water Resort and Casino on the Colorado River in Parker, Arizona.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online in syndication on networks across the U.S. and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up. We went a little bit long today, and that's okay. When you go long and it's with Leah Pritchett, it's definitely okay. Big thanks to my friends at Don Schumacher Racing for helping set that up. Thank you, Leah, for taking the time to call in. Always great to catch up with one of the best drivers in motorsports, hands down. So awesome show today. Big thanks to Justin Brayton, my good friend Juliana Daniel, and all of you listeners. Thanks to Amy for hitting those segments. Hopefully she's killing it in Monster Jam. Supercross is over this weekend. Indianapolis Grand Prix. That's pretty much the only thing happening this weekend. I will be heading out to Indianapolis for that. Definitely looking forward to the Grand Prix there at Indy this weekend. Follow me on social media. It's at JimBeaver15 on all forms of social media, and Facebook.com/group/JimBeaver15 will get you there as well. We've also got Amy's social. It's at AmyHood71. Make sure and rate, review, subscribe on iTunes to the Down and Dirty Show as well as Project Action. We got that coupon code at Dirtfish Rally School. It's JBDirtfish. Big thanks to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Vision Wheel, KCI Lights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, Optimus, MotoShield Pro, Terracross, and the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Pretty much I'm on the road to Indianapolis this weekend. So if you guys got, like I said, you want any specific IndyCar drivers you want me to interview, it's at JimBeaver15. You can shoot me, DM me on all kinds of social media, or use a contact form at downanddirtyshow.com, and we will try and get those drivers lined up. If you got any guests, any suggestions, anything, you can reach me at all those places as well. We're dropping a ton of content at the Down and Dirty Radio Show's website at downanddirtyshow.com. Just all kinds of news, articles, all things motorsports related. We've got a newsletter coming out. We're going to start a newsletter coming out this week. If you want to get into on that, subscribe. There's a subscribe link right there at the Down and Dirty Radio Show's website, so you can subscribe there as well. So we are going to take I guess it's not a short commercial break. We're checking out here. So thank you guys for tuning in this week, and be safe. As always, game on.